So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to matrices. And a matrix itself is a rectangular array of numbers and rows and columns. So essentially what you're doing is we're moving from what we learned in linear programming in terms of a system. We're going to write that in terms of a matrix now. And every number inside that rectangular array is called an element. They have these things called elements. And we can denote the element or the position of the number using that element. And we name a matrix with a capital letter. And the thing you need to really remember about a matrix is that we define it by its rows, by its columns. That's important. It's always rows first and then columns. And then you have these special types of matrix where if you have a single row, it's called a row matrix. A single column is called a column matrix. And if you have the same number of rows as columns, you get a square matrix. So we're going to look at a couple matrices right here. And it says in this example, you have capital letter A, which is matrix A. Then you have B, matrix B, and capital letter C, which is matrix C. What are the dimensions of matrix A? So again, we always name dimensions. When we define a row, when we define a matrix, it's always the rows by the columns. So in this case, for A, we have, and remember, rows go across. Here are your rows. So you have 2 rows, and columns go up and down by 3 columns. So this is A, 2 by 3. What are the dimensions of matrix B? 1, 2, 3 rows by 1, 2, 3 columns. So this is a 3 by 3. And by the way, this says same row as number of columns. This is what we call a square matrix. That's a square matrix. It says what number is an element, and they give you these elements. This is how you read the elements now. So when we look at these, we want to look at A, 2, 3. So we're going to look at matrix A. That's what the little a means. 2, 3 means you're looking at second row. So we want to go to our second row, which is here. 3 means look at the third column. So the intersection of those 2 points, that's going to be equal to just 1. A1, 2. Well, that means look at the first row, second column. That's equal to -1. A3, 1. Third row, first column. That equals 5. And then B2, 1. Second row, first column. That equals 0. So that's how you read the actual matrix by rows and columns. Then the last part says, what type of matrix is matrix C? Well, notice the dimensions of matrix C, first off, is 3 rows by 1 column. So you have a 3 by 1 here. And because you only have 1 column, this is what we call a column matrix. Called a column matrix. So this is just an introduction into what a matrix is.